We speak. We write.
We do language.
It was a summer night when the most powerful of meteor showers that had ever been recorded in New York City occurred. Not even the lights could darken those shooting stars. Their quick glows were long and lasting, as if hipster angels were being cast out of heaven and hurled down to earth. A tidal wave of heat had engulfed the city too, and everyone just wanted relief and took to the streets. But that night, the night of the shooting stars, was Taína's night. Her uncle Salvador had installed me and my parents by a small table in the corner of the cafe. My mother was happy. My father held her hand. The cafe was full. And I spotted Taína reading some sheet music in a tight red dress, all legs and curves, looking like nobody's mother. She spotted me, kissed her hand, blew a kiss my way, and then went back to doing her thing. The musicians at the small stage were standing around one another, clowning, laughing, their drinks on the floor next to them. And Usmail, Taína's daughter, was out in another world, dreaming of a better world in her stroller next to Taína's mother, Doña Flores, who was sitting by a table across from me and my parents. Soon, all kinds of shovels, coughs, the bartender getting in last drinks, and followed by a slow, slow murmur. Salvador strode up to the piano and sat down in front of the keys. There was a quiet stir before he firmly but gently ran his fingers over them. Taína stood alone in front of an old microphone. A humid light from the window framed Taína's lovely face. When her first low and sad note was born, a great silence overtook the cafe, like the first drop before the heavens opened. Taína began to sing sad words whose weeping was buried inside a melody, a song that we had been hearing all our lives, had grown up with, but it was only through her voice that we began to understand it. Taína's song revealed that we suffer because we do not submit to each other's love. When kissed, we only pretend to be moved, but it is not so. Taína sang that like children, like books, love has become the dust of the world. And when her voice sweetly hummed that all the kisses we did not give will one day be given, that's when I knew that everyone in the cafe was seeing who they loved. It was the dead everyone loved. It was the dead everyone missed. In the people's eyes were the images of faces that had once held their hands, taken their vows, changed their diapers, their clothes, or simply saw their last fading smiles, but were no longer living. Love is not a prisoner of time, Taína's lovely voice sang. Love does not recognize death. It is not under its authority. Her voice sang that the unstoppable river that flows among us is not time or death, but love. Taína was throwing it all to the fire that night so it could be consumed. It was like church. She was calm, composed, and older, and when her face deepened, tightened, sailed higher, filling the air with an intense sense of triumph, everyone began to cry. The voice contained all our suffering, all our failures, and all our joys. In Taína's voice, we felt, for the first time, what it was to be a swan. In Taína's voice, I did see who I loved, but it was not Taína. Whom I saw was my mother. I saw her dreams. I saw my father's dreams too. They were trampled and unfinished. Their feet and hands were callous from the stones that they had pushed and the cement sidewalks that they had walked upon barefoot. Taína's voice told me that my parents had not given up, that they had passed these dreams down to me, and I was to push the rock further, and my children's children were to do the same. And when Taína threw her head back, breathed deeply, closed her eyes, and held on to a single note that seemed it would not end until the second coming, everyone gasped for air, like when something is so astonishing, so miraculous, that it cannot be true. Then slowly, her voice rocked itself back and forth, back and forth, back to earth. If a bird could be more than what it already is, Taína had been that night of the shooting stars.